Dude, I'm fucking jacked right now. I fucking love this shit. I'm a golfer January 9th and 10th, too. I ran it past the old lady last night. We got nothing going on.
Oh, yeah, ATA.
Yeah, ATA is fucking set.
Good. Yeah, you just got to hear back from
Well,
Bo.
it sounds like we're fucking golden. He'll just give us the tickets.
Yeah, and then what sucks is I think in my class for that cert is I pay for a ticket
Oh,
in
yeah.
that deal. But either or. I'm not 100% positive, but no matter what, it'll be nice. We'll get our tickets from them and
Yeah, it is what it is.
catch us at the Orion booth at ATA this year.
I'll be there all day. I'm just selling shit. That's what I'm fucking doing.
We should try and get. We should try and go and snag people and get a pod.
We should bring our
repping
shit.
at ATA right in the booth.
Oh, fuck yeah. We could probably do one with Bo. He would probably do one on the thing again.
Yeah.
Even if it's a 30-minute. That's what working class did when they first started. They fucking would pound out like 20 of them. They'd ask everybody, hey, fucking so-and-so from fucking working class bull hunter. They were nobody.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do a podcast? Oh, yeah, all right, fucking sweet.
That's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk around and anyone that will entertain me for 30 minutes.
How about 5 seconds?
Yeah. 5 seconds at first. After that, yeah, let's go hop in the mic.
Let's fucking set some shit up. All right, ready? Do your clap. I'll pound the intro and then we'll fucking roll.
I think we're going to keep this all in there.
What?
Yeah. That's good.
We got to do our fucking bang, bang.
I'll figure it out. We'll be good to go.
Sweet.
I'm liking it. I'm liking what we got so far.
Me too. Midwest Archer podcast number lucky 7. 100% because Bull came out today. It was number 6.
Yep.
Mike Tracy here along with
Taylor Brissett.
And we are back at it. It has been a while.
It has been about a month.
Yeah, it's crazy that hunting season gets here and you got young kids and we're trying to get in the stand and I got high school kids and it just seems to just be a struggle just to try to sit down for 45 minutes and have a conversation. But that's just the fun part.
Oh, yeah. We kind of knew coming into it, like, do we want a podcast all the time or do we want to go sit in the tree stand? Well, I'm probably going to go sit in the tree stand.
Yeah.
We can link up at dark.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's been busy. It's been a real busy hunting season for both of us inside and out of the tree stand.
Yeah, for sure. I guess before we get going, let's get into our sponsors because we actually have quite a few now.
Yeah, you want to run them all?
Yeah, I'll run them. So first of all, we want to thank Orion Tree Stands, based out of Iron Mountain, Michigan. They are, in my opinion and Taylor's opinion, the top of the line for enclosed blinds. We had Bo on last week. I personally have 6 or 7 of them, and they are legit. They are worth every penny, and I can't thank them guys enough for being part of our team. And also want to thank Big Woods Realty, based out of Peshtigo, Marinette, Crivets in Misaki. If you're looking for a piece of property, hunting, buy, sell a cabin up north, give Nate and Kelly over at Big Woods Realty a call. They helped me purchase my property last year. Outstanding people. They do an outstanding job. I know a couple people have already hit them up already from seeing them on the podcast. So want to thank them guys. Wisco Meats in Coleman, Justin. He does all your wild game processing. He gave us a whole pile of beef jerky. I brought my son's buck there this year and had sticks made up. And I will tell you right now, I'm a huge stick fan. Yep. And the honey ham and the pepper jack are freaking legit.
Those are my go-tos every time.
Yeah, every single time the honey ham, I bring those out and the pack is gone in 5 minutes.
Every time.
And Justin's a super nice guy. We're glad to have him on. Lena Swamp Archery. If you're looking for any kind of archery equipment, you can go in there, you work there, and they will get you set up from bows to ladder stands to deer stands to arrows. They have everything. When you leave there, you are set up and ready to hunt. So Wade was kind enough to jump on for a sponsorship too. And so we just want to give those guys a shout out. And that pretty much wraps up that.
That's it. And we got merch.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I forgot about that. Yeah, we have Midwest Archer hats, T-shirts. So we will get those online. If anybody is interested in them, you can DM us and we will get an order placed for you. We don't have it set up on the website yet, but we're working on that after deer season. Once everything kind of calms down and after ATA, we'll
be able to get it.
We'll
get
be able to
everything settled in.
Yeah, we'll get her dialed in. So, but yeah, that's pretty much a wrap for that kind of stuff. So let's get into her.
Yeah. Real quick, going back to currently don't have any online shops set up yet. So if you are interested, shoot me a DM. We'll figure it out. We did a small batch order to start off. Friends, family, selling some stuff at Lena Swamp. So if you're in the area, you can stop in there and you're really interested and you pick up some of our merch there. But yeah, shoot us a DM on Instagram, Facebook, comment on YouTube. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, message us. We'll find you. We'll get it shipped out to you if you want something. So absolutely, the hats and T-shirts from everybody that did get them absolutely loves them. So
and thank you.
Yeah, to Adam over at
Adam Mullins.
Adam Mullins. Yep, huge thank you to him. He did a fantastic job with the design. And you can see we kind of have two different ones because we couldn't really pick between the two that we had. So they were both our favorite. So we actually went with one in the green and one with the gray, and everybody loves them, and the hats are pretty sweet. So
limited supply.
Very limited supply right now. I think I have 4 hats left out of 50, and I have like 30 shirts left. So
yeah, we're running low.
So let's get those sold, and then we can
get another
batch coming.
But anyway, let's kick into both of our mainly your season. Mine unsuccessful. We can touch on mine a little bit, but Mike you've had success in Illinois. Yeah.
So this year, I was down hunting with Austin Chandler from Working Class Bow Hunter. This was my second year down there this year. Archery tag over the counter. One of my favorite hunts that I've done for the last 2 years in a row. Last year was unsuccessful. Still had a great time, but this year, I seemed to got pretty lucky and second night sitting, and definitely wasn't going to pass him up. But so been kind of talking back and forth with Austin, sending pics and stuff, and he's kind of giving me a rundown of the bucks he had on this farm and that farm, and hunting there in the past. I kind of knew the farms, hunted a lot of them, so kind of knew the age structure and stuff like that. So he messaged me and said, "Yeah, I got some pretty good bucks. When do you think coming down?" I said, "Well, end of October." And he says, "Yeah, it's pretty much my favorite time." So I shot down the 26th on a Sunday, left early in the morning, shot down there, got in, and currently he sold his house. So he's living in his grandpa's house.
Okay.
So typically when we go down there, we usually stay at his house.
Yep.
He's got a finished basement, and he's building a brand new house. Actually, he's moving to Iowa, right across the border, about 20 minutes away. So he currently has 0 spots for anybody to stay. So, which really didn't matter to me because there's a small town right there. I would have just grabbed the hotel and stayed there or whatever. But one of my other buddies, which was Austin's friend too, had just bought barn doe and some hunting land 20 minutes away. So that worked out perfect. He ended up closing on it. And he messaged me and said, "Hey, are you still looking for a place to stay when you go down by Austin's?" I said, "Well, as of right now, yeah." He's like, "Don't worry, I got it covered."
That's Bucky?
Yeah, that was Bucky, yeah.
So how did you get linked up with these guys?
So with Austin?
Yeah.
So probably 3-4 years ago, I've been listening to their podcast for probably 5-6 years. And on one of the podcasts, I was just listening to Kurt and Austin were just talking about how he does hunts. And they were talking about, the size deer and all that kind of stuff. And just listening to them guys on the podcast, they seem kind of like, like my kind of people,
Right.
So I messaged Kurt out of the blue. I just said, "Hey, I'm trying to get a hold of," so I Googled it. I went on Facebook. I looked to try to find Austin Chandler's hunting or whatever I could find to see if I could find a contact. And I couldn't find anything. So I said, "Well, I'll take a shot and I'll just message Kurt right on Facebook." So I shot him an email and I said, "Hey, I'm trying to get to Austin, want to do a hunt with him to see what I got to do. So I was wondering if you had his number," expecting no response whatsoever.
Yep.
So like 15 minutes, pink, goes off my phone. I look in there. I'm like, Kurt, hey, bud. Oh, that'd be sweet. Here's Austin's number. Just give him a call.
Yeah.
And then I messaged him back. I said, he's got no problem, he's like, oh yeah, no, he's good. So I'm like, all right. So I call him, goes to voicemail because it was probably, I don't know, September-ish. So he was working in the field because they do cash crop.
Yep.
So I left him a voicemail, and it was kind of weird because when they first started doing the podcast, they didn't have video. It was strictly audio.
Yep.
So you could hear their voice. I could tell who was who.
Yep.
But you didn't have a face with it, So hey, this is Austin Chandler on the voicemail. Hey, this is Austin Chandler. I'm like, holy crap, it sounds just like him, because you're so used to just listening to it on the podcast, So it wasn't an hour later. I just left him a message, quick one, and expecting probably whatever, not really expecting anything, honestly. And 30 minutes later, phone rings, Illinois number, answer it. Hey, this is Austin. So started chatting with him and told him I'd like to come down and go on a hunt with him, archery hunt. And he said, all right, cool. When are you thinking? I said, whenever you got a spot next year would be awesome. He says, yeah, I got a spot next year.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, what do you want to, he's like, yeah, we'll just keep in touch and I'll put you down. And when do you want to come? I said, November or whatever. So I ended up drawing my Iowa tag the following year.
Okay.
So I said, hey, can I push it to the following year? Cause I got my Iowa tag and I know I'm going to put a lot of time into that buck. So I said, can we push it back? He's like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, matter of fact, I just bought a farm in Iowa and I drew a non-resident Iowa tag. So which just takes like 5-6 years to get it. So we pushed it off to the following year. I go down to Iowa and then we just kept in contact back and forth, steady, deer pictures, hey, what's going on? Kind of small chat, talk on the phone a little bit. And so that year when we were down hunting in Iowa, we were messaging back and forth because he was coming over to hunt, which was about 4 hours away from where he lives, to where he bought some property where he was hunting. And it was only like an hour and 10 minutes away from where I was hunting. So I'm hunting, he's hunting, and we were texting back and forth to see what we're seeing. And I ended up shooting one. And they were going out to dinner that night at a bar, like 45 minutes away from where I was staying. He messaged me and he's like, hey, bring that buck over. I want to see it. So I'm like, all right. So I had it caped out. So I threw it in the truck, drove over like 45 minutes to this bar out in the middle of absolutely.
Were you by yourself?
Yeah, I was by myself. So drove over there, met them guys at the bar, sat there, had a couple beers with them. There was Justin from one of the other podcasts was there, a bunch of other buddies. Austin was the first time I met him, so I come in there with a 150-inch 8-pointer, and they're like, holy freaking crap, So, and then the next day, Austin had shot one too. Mm-hmm. So then we just kind of kept back and forth and hunted with him last year and seeing a pile of really good bucks last year. But
all on his farms?
Yeah, all on his farms. He probably does, if I was to guess, I would say he probably runs 4 to 6 guys hunting, but a lot of them are like Bucky, Justin from Pullback and Let Go, Justin Gensmer. Mm-hmm. So it's like, people that he knows that.
Is he not offering like semi-guided hunts type of deal anymore? Or I would kind of a one-off deal that you just got in at the right time.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I don't think he takes, cause there's another guy from Wisconsin. His name is Matt. He lives over by, I want to say Pulaski area.
Okay.
So he's been hunting with Austin for a long time too, probably like 10 years. So it's like, once you get in there, like,
That's it.
You
got your spot.
You are not walking away from that. Because he puts in an incredible amount of time. I mean, food plots, stand prep. I mean, same thing that I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's so awesome to go down and hunt with people that are, as into it as you are. Like all them guys, like that's all they do.
Yeah.
Is
deer,
like
deer on the mind.
Deer steady. And I have a lot of buddies that hunt up here and stuff, but they don't hunt like I hunt. Right. They don't hunt like you hunt.
Yep.
It's different. And when you get to go down there with them guys and hunt, and everybody is just so jacked to, for each other, mm-hmm. It's crazy. There's no jealousy. There's no, everybody's pulling for everybody. Everybody right. wants everybody else to kill, and it's a different mentality.
Yep.
But so coming into this year, I was going by myself, which is fine by me because then I don't have to worry about, you know, I like going on hunts with people, but sometimes it's nice to go by yourself. I don't have to worry about, is the other guy having a good time? Is he seeing deer? Should he be in this spot? Or, you know what I mean? Or if I kill, do I come back? Do I stay? Does he leave? You know what I mean? And so it's just nice. I've done a lot of solo hunts by myself, and it's just nice and relaxing because
you're on your time.
Yeah, and I'm with people all the time, every day.
I know. Yep.
So it's nice just to go in, you know, and Austin's like, hey, you know, here's this farm, here's this farm, here's this farm. I have cameras there. There's food there, you know, hunt it however you want to hunt it. There's some stand set there.
Yep.
But if you want to hang cameras, hang cameras. You want to go and scout, go and scout.
Okay.
You know, you want to hang and bang, you can hang and bang. You want to, you know, pretty much do what you do, which is kind of really sweet.
Yeah.
So like this year, I got down there on a Sunday, and he hadn't had a lot of pictures of really, really big bucks. A lot of old bucks.
Okay.
Like a lot of 5-year-olds that are just, you know,
declining already, or
just topped out.
Yep.
You know, which everybody calls them the bully bucks. You know.
Yep.
Basically, you want to get rid of those bucks because they're smashing up everything else and chasing a lot of the other younger 3.5-year-old but bigger bucks off that farm.
Yeah.
So he had a handful of those bucks, and he's like, "You got a problem shooting any of these ones?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." And so he's like, "All right, sweet." So he had it set up. He had a box blind set up on a long food plot, and it was buck brunch, and so it was a long, narrow one, and there was the turnips and radishes are what was in this buck brunch.
Yep.
And I'm telling you what, I'm not exaggerating one bit. They were this big. You know, they were a softball and a half big, like everywhere. The field was full of them.
Do you know what he's doing for food plot prep?
Yeah. He's just tilling and collar packing. He uses the Coulter Packer Max.
Okay.
He spreads by hand, and he doesn't use a drill.
Okay.
Just pretty much the same stuff, but he uses Big Tine food plot seed, and I'm telling you right now, I'm using Big Tine next year.
Yeah.
100%. You know, after seeing that, so he had 2 food plots set up on this one farm, and one was a long, skinny one, probably I'd say 75 yards wide by 120 long.
Yep.
And that was at the bottom, and then you came up this ridge to the top, and there was egg at the top, and right on the edge of the egg, there was a finger, and inside of that finger was another 3-acre buck brunch food plot, and then around the 3 sides of it, he had tall grass planted.
Yeah, like a switchgrass type.
Yeah, it's called Borderline, actually.
Yeah.
It's also made by Big Tine.
Okay.
So he has that all the way down the east, the north, and the west.
Okay.
And then he's got the stand. He's got a Grizzly box line tucked in to the backside because they're sponsored by Grizzly.
Yep.
So he's got the Grizzly tucked in there, and he had the Grizzly tucked in at the bottom. And I get down there on my way. He's like, "Dude, if we can get a week or 2 prior, he's like, if we can get some east winds, we're gonna get one. We're gonna have a great opportunity, like the first time in there, because nobody's been in there." So I'm like, "All right, sounds good." He showed me the list. He's like, "Any of these bucks right here, we'll do." I'm like, they will. So I get set in. I get down there, go to Bucky's, meet up with Bucky and Bucky's best friend Randy, which is he's also a top notch guy. Both of them 2 guys are unbelievable, and thank you to Bucky again for letting me stay there. Like that was his first time there. Like that's.
Yeah, because he just bought
it. Like the old owner still had his stuff in there, you know, like shoulder mounts and stuff like that. So for Bucky to let me come stay there with him, was I couldn't even thank him enough, you know. So, and then his buddy Randy that was down there with him, super nice guy. They just left. Today's Monday. They just left yesterday at noon. They were down there for over 2 weeks, and he had 220 acres that he bought with that. And to try to get that figured out, you know, they were close like every night. They were seeing deer and seeing bucks and good ones, and a lot of them on camera. But just to just jump into the woods, you know, without any kind of early season or winter season. But next year, those bucks on that farm better watch out, because Bucky's going to have her dialed in next year.
All right.
But he had some pictures of just some absolute tankers. It was unbelievable. So I stayed there, 20-minute ride. I got there, unpacked, sat around, talked a little bit, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna shoot my bow. Pulled out the target, shot 6 arrows, 20, 30, 40, dialed them, ready to go.
Money.
Yeah, I was pretty jacked. I was actually really confident. I can tell you right now for a fact, and you can probably even attest to this, like I've shot my bow more this year than probably the previous 5 years combined.
Yeah.
So it was daily for me. I mean, if I can get it within 60 yards, it's going to die.
Isn't that such a nice feeling that when you go show up somewhere and pull the target out and they just hit right where they hit? No adjustments, no nothing. Groups are nice and tight because I've gone on trips, man, where I go and I don't know if it's just traveling or what it is, where I go and I shoot my bow and at 30 yards, yeah, we're talking, which for a lot of people is probably still pretty good, but like we're running groups like this at 30 and it's like,
You're like,
man, I just broke 4 arrows at 40 last week
yeah.
or right before I came, and now I'm about to go walk in the woods. So
my first 2 shots, my first shot was like 6 inches low and like 5 to the right, like bullseyes here, and like I pound one down here, and of course everybody's standing watching, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, it's truck. I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, you know. So, and then I dialed it in. I was just
yeah,
I've
that's
been
when
like,
you got to turn around and just start clicking stuff. Like, all right, 32 clicks, not 32, but like 10 clicks to the right, 10 clicks all the way back to the left to make
Yeah.
it look like
yeah, this must be off a little bit.
it's
you know,
it's the site.
So I dial in, I shoot, and I'm just like, these deer are so fucking, they're dead. If I can get it within 60, I am gonna crank. Because the previous year, I had a really nice buck. I mean, a giant 10-pointer, monster body, just a giant chasing a doe, and I had him at 63. And last year I was not confident, and he was broadside, and he was with a doe and not paying attention, and I could have just. Like this year, if that would have been last year, he'd have died. I'd have freaking drilled him. He was broadside, scraping out in the field, paying attention to the doe.
Yeah.
I could have just pilastered him, but last year I wasn't as confident. 40 was probably about it for me last year.
Yep.
Now this year, 65, no problem.
Yep.
I was out practicing tonight a little bit because I've been hunting quite a bit, and I still like to shoot every day, at least a couple.
Yep.
Just to make sure that sight ain't go up and down the, strings or whatever.
Dragging it through the woods.
Yeah, absolutely. So I get out, I park the truck. He's like, shows me on Onyx, here's this. I'm like, yeah, because the previous year before, my brother, we had set up a stand on that lower spot, but the food plot wasn't the same.
Okay.
He had just a small clover plot in there. So it was okay food, but not like it is now. So we had a stand down in that bottom, which is still in that tree, actually. And I was in such a good spot. My brother seen like $17 in the first sit there last year. It was like back and forth.
Yeah.
And so I get in there.
Was that stand placement just like you guys looking at Onyx and trying to figure out funnels, or is that kind of an area that you were told might be good?
No, we went and scouted it.
Yep.
I look at Onyx, but it's so hard for me to judge the funnels.
Is it like hill country or more or less flat with ag and timber?
Well, it's hilly with this farm has got a little bit more. So this would be that Mississippi River bottomish kind of with a little bit of hills, but not crazy. Some of the farms are a little flatter, but there's some pretty good, like Austin, that farm's got some pretty good little ravines in it.
Yep.
And it comes up and then plateaus and then kind of dips down and then up and down some perfect bedding valleys. I mean, it's dynamite.
That is by far my favorite type of.
You would fall in love with this farm because it's legit. Like this is like his big buck killing farm. Like this is
it.
Yeah, hands down. The neighbors that all hunt all do, quality deer management. They ain't whacking 12-inch 8-pointers, 2.5 years old. They're not. They're passing 160s, 170s. The neighbors are, and I can attest because I seen it. We went over to the guy's neighbor's house and it was absolutely unbelievable. Like I couldn't even believe it. Like walls of them.
Wow.
And he showed me some sheds that he's like, I passed up this buck this last year, and I'm like, you could take my last $7 and half of these bucks won't even get one side.
Right.
But that's
it's a
what,
different. It's a different.
yeah, 100%.
It's a different area.
100%.
Different area, different mindset.
Yeah, different genetics. You know, you can say what you want. You know, 5.5-year-old deer there is probably going to be 155, 165 on an average, I would say. Here, 5.5-year-old buck,
130
tops.
around there.
Yeah,
They get big. They get big here.
yeah, they get pretty good size. The one my brother got was pretty good size, but it isn't even going to be probably that. But I mean, we get some nice ones, but they're the next
Right.
upper echelon.
The abundance.
Yeah. And their deer herd is perfect. You know, he's got the rut down there is insane.
The ratios.
Spot on.
Our ratios here are
Way off.
not good.
And it's pockety around here. Where down there they keep a pretty tight, you know, like Kurt and they all have their farms, and like Austin's super conscious about, you know, taking does, you know, and he wanted me to go in there and take a doe, but he had another one of the different guy coming in to hunt, and I'm like, I don't want to go in there and whap a doe and then be tracking it all over the place and muck it up, and you know, so I might go back down, you know, this winter and maybe do a little late season, shoot a doe. I got a doe tag yet, so
Okay.
but so that first night, I am in a box blind, and I climb in at like 2:00. Gets dark. I want to say 6:45 ish, give or take, something like that. That was
Oh, yeah. Pre-daylight savings.
pre-daylight savings. Yep, and a little bit earlier. It gets darker there probably 20 minutes later than it does here.
Yeah.
Because I always would text people when they're hunting, "What'd you see tonight?" Like, it's prime time. Stop texting me.
Yeah. Same
So,
with Missouri.
Yeah, same. It's pretty close to the same. So I'm in there. I'm pumped. I'm ready. I'm going through all the bucks in my head because I always get super nervous. I don't want to shoot something where you're like,
I know.
dang it. I'd rather pass it,
Yeah.
and then because odds are you're probably going to see it again.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm in the stand. I'm on edge, just relaxing, but ready. You know, I got all my windows situated. I got my front window open, my two open and then closed, and then ready to go. East wind, perfect, blowing right in my face. I got a scrape 20 yards to the left, and I got 3 more up around this corner scrapes. And then on the right side of the food plot, there's like 4 of them, 4 in a row. And then pretty much all the deer, for the most part, were bedded straight east of me. So it's set perfect.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there, and it is 3:00, 4:00, 5:00. I'm like, all right, getting close to the witching hour. 5:36, nothing. I'm just staring back and forth, looking. Deer cast says, okay.
Yep.
So I pay pretty close attention to the deer cast stuff as well.
What cast are you?
Deer
running?
cast
Okay. I know.
by
I know.
by Drury's, yeah, the deer cast. So I have the elite package. Actually, Bucky has.
Yep.
We get free passes for all that kind of stuff. So, or a free subscription or whatever. So I'm on that one. So it tells you, you know, the 14 days out and the moon phases and the pressure. And so I pay pretty close attention to that kind of stuff.
Does that correlate with anything? Have you stacked it against any of the other options? Because I know I don't use HuntWise anymore, but I like their deer cast, and I use so I mainly run Onyx.
Yeah.
But I don't like their deer cast, so I keep the HuntWise just to have their deer cast option. But I haven't utilized anything other than just looking at biometric pressure and moon phase.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I started with DeerCast 6 years ago, maybe something like that, 7 years ago, kind of right after it first came out.
And that's what you've been running since.
And I've been running it ever since. I'm so familiar with it, you know, because they got the tracker, if you hit it, you can click on where you hit it, and it kind of gives you the breakdown of the anatomy of the deer and how long you should wait, and kind of a little breakdown of that. But I haven't really used that portion of it, but like everything else, I watch it pretty close, like every day. Like I'm checking it today for the rest of this week, picking my spots where I want to go, gives me good wind direction, and it gives you the pin of where you're at. You know, I can set it up for different farms, but otherwise it gives me right where I'm standing. So it would tell me, you know, the wind it's for here.
Is the wind pretty accurate?
It's almost dead on every time. Very seldom. Tomorrow it's calling for southwest, but not much of a wind. And I'll check it in the morning anyway when I get up.
Yep.
And just to see, because southwest this time of year, and it's only supposed to be like 33. So I'm like, man, how the heck can it be southwest and it's 30 degrees out?
Right.
But it's usually spot on. So I'm sitting there and it's 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and text messages. Bzz, 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 what are you seeing? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? And I messaged you and I said, nothing moving yet. And then I think your response was patience. And I said, yeah, no shit. And I just kind of chuckled at that. And then I just kind of texted a couple people and the night goes on and I see absolutely nothing. Not a deer, nothing. Didn't hear one, didn't see one. And so I walk up, I probably park 400 yards away, maybe something like that. So I walk up to the top, get in the truck, and it's all egg all the way out.
Yeah.
And I don't see a eyeball anywhere. Nothing.
Okay.
So, which made me feel good.
What did the cast say for that day?
It
Not
said,
good?
it said slow, I think.
Slow. Okay.
Because I think it was the first east wind after a couple norths, because it had been kind of cool. So it was kind of like north, and then that was our first night of an east wind. So, which I don't know. You would think that with all that food there, we eat every day.
Yeah.
But it was a full moon too. So, it was just starting to crest into that 3/4 full.
Yep.
And that usually means 90% nighttime activity.
Yep.
So the next morning I get up. Oh, so that night we go back to Bucky's. Bunch of people come over. Kurt, Austin, Rachel and Andy Bushak, which are friends of the podcast that I've become friends with too. And they came over to Bucky's, kind of like a celebration for Bucky's new place there. And, one thing led to another, and pretty soon it's 1:30 in the morning.
Foot caught in the fun wheel.
Yeah, which was no big deal because the next day my plan was to go and scout a different farm, which I knew a little bit about it, but I knew some spots.
Yep.
And I know there was great bucks on there because the year before there was a 140s, 150s that they were after, nobody got. And one of the guys, actually Bucky, was hunting a different buck there. And Justin Gensmer ended up shooting it. And it was 173.
Okay.
And Bucky had seen it a couple times and couldn't close the deal. And then he left, and then Justin came in and he killed them like right around New Year's Eve on a day in January or the end of December. I'm not sure exactly the date, but it was right at the end of the year.
Yep.
And it was in like the 50s that day. So there you have it, just weird. So I go scout and I like what I see on that farm. I found 20 plus scrapes along the edges of these little fingers that are full of clover, but like overgrown clover because it hasn't been taken care of because it was a lease.
Yep.
But I seen buck sign all over. So I picked out a tree. I'm like, perfect. I got a game plan. I'm going to hang that spot. I'm going to hunt tonight. I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to hunt in the morning. I'm going to hang that set and then get it ready for a north or a west. And it was going to be east for like 3 or 4 days in a row. Mm-hmm. So I knew after the second or third day of east, they're going to start moving anyway because the pattern kind of leveled back out. So I get in that stand that next day. So I scouted, got it all situated, and it's probably like 40-minute ride from Bucky's place to where I was hunting. And it was like 12 o'clock. So I'm like, I don't really feel like driving 40 minutes back to Bucky's to sit there for 40 minutes and then drive back. I said, I'm just going to climb in the stand. I'm already here. I'll take a slow walk in, get in the stand early. So I go park, dress light, and no camouflage on the top. I wear camel pants, and I have a black hooded sweatshirt on.
Yep.
Blending in the blind. So I climb in there, and it was a little bit warmer, probably, 50 maybe. So I'm sitting in the stand, and it was windy, like 20 steady, even down in the bottom. And I'm like, which kind of sucks because it was it kind of comes down to a little valley and it bellies out and it kind of does one of them little kind of a bowl. And you know what a wind does down in there.
Yeah. Oh,
It's just, you can't, it can
every
be,
direction.
yeah, especially when it's a little bit warmer out. So I'm sitting there and that wind is cranking and pretty soon I can kind of feel it blowing this way and then a little bit this way. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, frick, I just can't catch a break here. So I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I'm kind of just looking around and all of a sudden I could hear a branch creak and a giant tree straight in front of me, like right straight on the end of the food plot, snaps half off and just boom right down on the ground. And I'm like, holy crap. That was pretty freaking wild because that stand that we set was 15 yards from that tree where that tree tipped over. It was 15 yards right there. So if I would have been sitting in that stand, it would have been like
Right there.
right next to me. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, that's pretty wild. So I was staring forward and about 30 minutes later at about 2:00, I could see into off the edge of the food plot. There was 2 heavy trails. And I looked in there and I could kind of see through into the woods, maybe like 20 yards through the cover. And I seen a deer all of a sudden standing there in the timber a little ways. And I'm like, so I grab the binoculars. I look, I'm like, is that just playing tricks on me or what? And I look and here's a nice 8-pointer and he's working a scrape at like 2:00.
Yep.
So I'm watching him and he was in there for a while. He worked one scrape, then he went and worked the second scrape. And then he walked into that valley towards that other stand and he just kind of walked away. I don't know if he was a shooter or not, but he was definitely a nice buck. And he kind of walked off. So I texted Austin, like, holy crap, just seen a nice 8-pointer. And he's like, really? It's really early. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's crazy. And I said, tonight's the night. And so I'm sitting there and the wind just started to tip down. And pretty soon I closed I have 2 long, tall windows in the corners and a horizontal in the front, but the horizontal in the front is pretty tall. So you can shoot out of it, no problem. So I have that one open and my 2 sides shut. So I'm sitting there and I put my phone off and it was like 4:45 and Austin's like, I'm just getting out in the stand. I'm like, sweet, let me know. He's like, all right. Or 4:30. He's like, yeah, just
4:30.
Yeah, 5:00 or 4:30 or 4:00. Yeah, it was later. He had something going on that day or whatever, so he didn't get a chance to get in until a little bit later. But he already killed the 199, so the pressure's a little bit off. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I just had I'm like, it's gonna happen tonight. I can feel it. So I'm just like everything I got ready. I'm back, and all of a sudden I'm just kind of looking around, and it was, I don't know, 10-5, and the wind just stopped, just like that. I'm like, oh, that was kind of weird. And I'm staring across the food plot, scanning back and forth, and all of a sudden I look up, and on the edge of the food plot, straight across from me, I see a back of a body because the food plot kind of goes like this, has just a little bit of a crest to it.
Yep.
And I could see the back, and I'm like, oh man, there's a deer stand right there. So it's like 100 yards, maybe 90. And all of a sudden I picked its head up, and I could see the white rack. I'm like, whoa. Yeah, he's a shooter for sure. That's him. He had a 10-pointer on camera, which was this one. And he said, I'm pretty sure he's 5. So he says he's been the same the last 2 years in a row.
Yep.
Take him if you want him. I'm like, yeah, he's a 140. He was actually a little bit better than 140. And so he's coming towards me. And so the edge of the food plot, there's a 2-track, just a little 2-track trail that kind of goes right along the north side of it. And I am dead center of this food plot. So I got 35 to the road this way and 40 to the other corner.
Yep.
So I don't know if and I have my wheel cranked to 20. So I grab my bow, I get it in my hand, and I'm watching him, and he's coming along the edge of that road at a pretty good clip. So I'm waiting for him to kind of dip into the food plot to eat. And so I'm like, am I rolling it? Am I not rolling it? So then I lean forward and I open up my left window.
Yep.
My tall one, and he's coming. I'm like, he's not going to come to the food plot. He's going to go to either the scrape that's right to the left of me, because he would have diagonaled into the plot a long time ago. He's on that road. He's going up to the left because there's a huge scrape and a scrape rope up to the left, like 50 yards. I can't see it, but that's right around this corner.
Okay.
So I open up the window. I roll my chair over this way. I roll the 35 because right out this window, I already took all my measurements before in my yardage because, I literally had maybe 1 minute tops to get them from when I seen them to where I killed them.
That's one thing about hunting fields, and I try to not hunt fields very often unless good food source or something like that. But man, sometimes it's so hard to judge, or if they're like clipping along at a good pace, how many times can you do this while this and
that's my other side I used to have was the Garmin range-finding one, which is nice because I could just push the button.
Yep.
And I was doing it right at the same time, but I switched to a roller, and so he was on track. I roll, and I took a bunch of ones beforehand. I'm like, all right, if that one clump right there is 20.
Yep.
So I kind of made the image in my head 20, and then that clump of, turnips and a little bit of weeds is 30.
Yep.
So I had if you could get it pretty close. So I knew that road right there. I knew that was 35.
Yep.
So I'm like, so here he comes. He's coming to 35. So I just roll back to the corner. The tall window's right here. I roll the 35. I clip on, and he's walking steady pace, clipping along, and he gets the dead corner of the blind, pull back, and he comes into my window, and I just give him it was super quiet. So I'm like, I do not want to map too loud. I'm just like, and he stops. He looks. Now he's 1/4 heavy.
Okay.
So, because the road had made just a little bit of an in-turn like this, so he was kind of coming like that, but he was perfect in my window. So I give him a little map, stops, I put it tight to the shoulder, pull the trigger, and I'm like, oh, that sucker felt good. And all of a sudden just pop. And he turns and goes, brah! Like growl. No, I've shot a lot of deer. I've never heard one myself make that noise. I've seen it on videos before.
Yeah.
Where they hit him and they just like, brah! And that's exactly what he did.
I have never.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're like, why didn't you videotape it? I'm like, dude, I got enough shit going on in that stand, and it was only me. I couldn't even imagine getting another guy in there and trying to go over the shoulder, and then, but there was plenty of room. But so I hit him. I watched the arrow drive in, and when the arrow hit him, it was like going in like slow motion.
Yep.
Like the first thing I thought of was, fuck, I nailed that shoulder. But I'm like, there's no way. And I seen the arrow, and it just hit him and then just kind of went, like pushed into him.
Yep.
So he spins 90 degrees and he takes off running across. And when he turned and growled, I could see the arrow was sticking out of him yet. And when he turned and spun and started running and working on his way back the other direction, I seen the exit hole. So it had punched all the way through.
Yep.
And then I didn't see the arrow come out this way. And I didn't see the arrow. So I didn't know if it broke off or what. But I seen the exit hole and it was center. So I'm like, dude, that's
dead.
No way. And you can tell he was running like he was running.
Yeah.
Like he was running dead. So he goes all the way across the food plot, which was 85, 90 yards. And I'm like, all right, that's about far enough. And he turns and he goes down this little tiny dip and into the woods. And I could see him go away. So I set my bow down and I got my head hanging out the window of the front. And I'm trying to listen to see if I can hear him crash.
Yep.
So I got my head out the window of this blind and I hear nothing. I'm like, all right. So I sit back down. I'm like, he was roached. I mean, smoked. 12. I'll take that shot. 100%. So that felt good. So I texted Austin, just cranked one. He wasn't even, I hit the send button and it wasn't even 3 seconds. Phone's ringing. I'm like, yeah. He's like, no way. I'm like, yes way. And he says, is it a good one? I said, yeah, it was a really nice, tall, white horn 10-point.
No, it was a dink.
Yeah, I think it was a 3-pointer because that's what I'm on pace for right now. And he said, shot feel good? I said, yeah, shot felt really good. Like, there wasn't even, like, no hesitation. Like, no, like, oh, crap, he's at 35. It was like, you are freaking dead. Right. And just let him have it. And he's like, all right. I said, well, I'm going to wait 30. And then at 5:30, I'm going to get down. I'm going to grab my arrow, look for blood, see what it looks like, follow it. If it looks good, I'm just going to follow it. And then see if I can find him in the daylight. And he's like, yeah, it sounds like a plan. Keep me posted. So I'm like, all right. So then I texted you and I texted my brother. And so I'm waiting. And my brother calls me. He's like, did you smoke him? And I said, yeah. And I look to the left and here's an 8-pointer standing at that scrape, like 15 yards. I'm like, gotta go. Hang up the phone. So this 8-pointer comes into the food plot from the direction that buck was going.
Yep.
All of a sudden, he steps right into the food plot. And he comes across and he goes right to where I shot that deer, right to the spot. I got it on video. Like walks right to it and sniffs the ground right where I shot that buck. Mm-hmm. And then turns and walks into the food plot, walked all the way around the food plot, along to the other side, and he goes into the woods. He hit the 2 scrapes and he goes into the woods right where that buck ran in on the same trail. And I'm like, son of a... I said, well, I'm going to wait an extra 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I waited an extra 20 minutes. So it was like 45, 50 minutes. So I get out, I go over there. There's hair right where I shot him. No blood for 5 yards, which is kind of typical. Yeah. And all of a sudden, he's pouring. He is pouring out of the in-hole. And I go about 10, 15 yards, and my arrow was stuck in the ground, sticking up, covered in blood. There was blood all over.
Yep.
I'm like, he's smoked. So following it across the food plot, bubbles everywhere, just a stream of blood pouring out of him. And I get to the woods. I go down in the ditch where I seen him last, and I'm going to keep going. And all of a sudden, I knock an arrow, and I go down over this little, and it's all dirt, super soft dirt. And I walk in there, and a deer gets up in front of me, and it was that 8-pointer that I had just seen. He had bedded down, like right there.
Yep.
And he turns all around, and he runs straight down the same path that the blood trail's on. He runs away. And he runs like, he wasn't like, he just kind of trotted off. Mm-hmm. And pretty soon, like 30 seconds later, he starts to snort and snort and snort and snort. And I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Which the wind is in my face. So yeah. I'm like, hopefully he's snorting at that deer laying there that he just ran past.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, I know how this is going to go. So I just turned around, backed out, called Austin, or I texted him. I said, hey, I'm just going to wait. I trailed it to the edge of the food plot. Buck got up, ran the direction the blood trail's going. It wasn't him 100% sure because that one was dark horn. He was light horn. And I said, we'll wait. So I go back to the truck, sit and wait like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
That's how long you waited?
Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I got no cell service. So I can't text, do nothing.
You got the radio?
I just sat there. No, it was all right. I just sat there on the tailgate and I didn't have any beer. I didn't have anything to celebrate with, but I wasn't 100. I mean, I was like 99.9% sure, but then you start second guessing yourself. You're like, did I hit him where I thought I hit him?
Yeah.
You know, the doubt always sets in the longer you sit and think about it. Was it as big as I thought it was? That's usually, how it goes. So he gets there, him, his wife Leah, and his son Cody, and I had stuck an arrow in the woods right where I left him, and his son's really starting to get into hunting. So I'm like, here's the blood trail, I'll follow you. So we're going through there, and he's following the blood, and we get into the arrow, and it probably went like 50 yards past where I had quit yet.
Yep.
So it probably went a good 150, and it was a smoke shot. It was double lung through the liver, and it was on a super sharp angle, and it was out like the center of the deer. And he was stone dead. He was stiff as a board.
Okay.
And drug him out of there, monster body. So we walk up to him, and there's, the ditches down there. So there was a 10-foot ditch.
Yep.
And he died on the top of it with his nose about 8 inches away from going down that ditch. And
those are brutal.
If he goes down that ditch, there is absolutely 0% chance me and Austin and Lee are getting that deer out of there. There's no way. We're calling for 3 more people.
Yeah.
Because it was 10 feet straight down.
Yep.
So he dies right on the top of it, like right there. And so we still had to drag him out of there. And it was a 240-pounder all day live weight. It was a big deer. And get him back, get him dressed out. Make a couple phone calls when we get to the truck. Austin's texting Kurt and them guys, and like buck down, everybody's texting and, sweet, So go back. By the time we get it, it was kind of warmer that night. Not too terribly bad, but we couldn't hang it at Bucky's house. because the owner was coming the next day to take the stuff out of his garage and his shed. So Bucky's like, I don't really want to have a deer hanging in here. I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you. I'm like, all right. So Austin's got no shed, no garage. There's no meat locker around. So
What were the temps at?
it was like 40. It was cold. So I went, we bought 3 big bags of ice,
Yep.
field dressed them, put them in the truck, packed 2 up in it, one between the hindquarters.
Yep.
And the ice was still completely bags in the morning yet. So next morning we get up, me and Randy and Austin go over and take some pictures. Austin's just a magician with the camera. Dude can take some sick pictures. So we took pictures and we'll post one of them on there. I'll send, I think you have them all already, but we'll post one of them on there.
I got one up.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm not even.
You're not even on social media. Your wife commented on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She said, "Who's that ugly dude?"
Yeah. Who's that stud with that buck?
It was something along the lines. Something about a good-looking hunter.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I'm serious. I'll show you after this.
It must have been on Facebook because I
Facebook.
can't get on Facebook if you paid me.
Facebook.
Oh. So the next day I'm like, man, I'm gonna take it to Old Barn, and they do meat processing and everything there and the mounting and everything. So I go over there and meet up with Larissa and from Old Barn, and she took care of me and phenomenal job. And you should see the inside of that place. Wow.
I've never been.
It's impressive. There's bucks in there like you can't even. It's unbelievable. The talent, the forms, the custom stuff they do there is just unbelievable. So we go back, and that was Monday night. So pressure is off. Now it's easy street for me. So the next day I go, and Randy wanted to hunt that farm that I had scouted. And so I went over there, and me and him hung a stand, got it ready, hung it in the tree, and came back, and that was Tuesday night. One of our buddies, Todd Anderson, shot an absolute hammer 10-pointer. I mean, one of the biggest, cleanest 10s I've ever seen. It was 188.
Tank.
It was sick. It was 15 and 2/8 inch G2s.
Yeah, that's a tank.
And so Wednesday night we go to the studio. Andy's there, Todd's there, Kurt, Doug, Eric. So Todd brings his horns there. Rachel had killed a really nice buck on Saturday night, the date before I got there, and she drew an Iowa tag. She killed an awesome buck, had a couple stickers off of it. So that buck was there. My buck was there. Todd's horns were there. Austin had his there. So there was quite a few bucks already that
hit the
dirt down there. And Kurt had one ready. Eric had one opening weekend. So there was like 7-8 bucks dead already just right there. And so it was pretty cool. They did a podcast that night. So we just kind of sat, me and Bucky and Randy just kind of hung out. They did their podcast with Todd's buck. So they did that real quick and then came back and hung out and then Thursday night, one of our buddies, Lee, he hunts in Iowa, and he had shot a buck, which he had been after. He had some trail cam pictures of it. Left to go overnight, followed to the next day, and that one was 258 and 3/8. Absolute freak. It's unbelievable. I sent you the pictures, and it's
buck of a lifetime.
Oh yeah, just to be around them guys, like it's unbelievable, and just everybody pulls for everybody. It's kind of weird. It's that you're not used to that here. Everybody's here, everybody's cutthroat. I'm not showing you no trail cam pics, and I'm trying not to buy into that vibe. But me and my neighbors, we share our pics a lot, so it makes it more fun.
It definitely does. Yeah, I try to share a lot of my stuff with the neighbors. ton of my public stuff though. I'm pretty,
Oh, I never share any of that.
exclusive.
Yeah,
Exclusive on a lot of that stuff, and
you have to be around here just because you don't have, you don't have the number of quality bucks, here. They're a lot harder to attain than they are down there.
yeah,
So if you get a picture of a good 140s buck, I'm not telling anybody.
yeah, a couple select
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, maybe a couple, your core buddies that,
Yep.
or be like, hey, hey, we can come, let's go see if we can get the, lock it up together or whatever. But otherwise, no, I don't.
Yeah, there's a couple people I can be like, send Onyx pins to and be like, hey, this is where these cameras are. I'm getting them here, but not here. Like what? Like this is the plan that I have in my head, but give me a little more information from your perspective, and
Help me try to dial this thing in.
help me try to dial this in. And very small group of people that I would send that to, because I'm sure there are plenty enough people where I'd be like, here's the pin where I got a big buck and I need help trying to get them, and it's like, show them, and it's like, the fuck are you doing here? Oh,
Yeah, you're going to hunt the next morning, and guess what?
hey, I'm here.
Oh, I thought you were sending that pin to me for me to come and shoot
I
it.
thought you told me to come here.
Yeah. So yeah, that pretty much wrapped up my, I stayed down for one more day till Thursday, and then I came back Thursday morning. So I stayed down there for a couple extra days, just kind of hanging out and putzing around, and trying to help Randy get on a buck. And he sat that set we had in that one spot where we had scouted, and he was covered up in bucks the first day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some 4 or 5 nice bucks, one shooter the first night, didn't come close enough. Next morning he rattled, beautiful 8-pointer right to the tree, ears back. He's got a video of it. Ears back, fluffed out, ready to fight. Comes out, walks 12 yards right past the tree. I mean, it was textbook. He didn't kill anything yet in that spot, but just the encounters. It's always not about killing.
Yeah.
It's rattling in a buck like that. I mean, it was a nice 3.5-year-old.
Yep.
And so it was a great trip. I can't wait to go back.
You going back next year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. If I'm still kicking, I'm heading back for sure. So it's nice to have that.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that spot, locked in where you're got a great chance
Yep.
of shooting a nice buck.
Yeah.
Especially a mature buck. I don't need to shoot would I like to shoot a 180s? Oh yeah. Who wouldn't? But to go down and hang out with friends and be, lucky enough to shoot a 40s buck, in the second sit, which never happens to me.
No.
I told Austin, he's like, when do you plan on leaving? I said, either Christmas or or I got to kill. He's like, maybe tomorrow night's the night. I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm the last day kind of guy.
Yeah.
And it happened to be the second sit. But which, after it happens, you're like, yes, it's not really the pressure's off, but it was like,
Oh, yeah.
it you know what I'm talking about. If you gone,
I would have loved to have gone on my trip and just been camp bitch the rest of the trip.
yep, that was me. I had dinner one night. I made, I did a fish fry one night, and then I can't even remember what the heck else I made. Well, I brought steaks down. We made T-bones one night. So I had those all prepped and ready.
Yep,
and
sign me up.
yeah. And
Sign me up for killing early and being camp bitch.
yeah, it's fun. And then you get to run around and help everybody
help
else.
people out. And,
I was doing some other scouting and just trying to get, other guys on deer, and which is just as much fun. I would have had, if I would have helped put that stand up, scouted it, hung it, got it prepped and ready, and then, Randy shoots a buck out of that stand, you take a pretty good sense of pride in that. Like, man, because he's like, this spot's money. He's like, this spot is money. This is right on.
Yep.
He's like, this is the perfect tree, the perfect corner, the perfect everything. And the big one just happened to not work that spot, but it's kind of cool to go like, yeah, that was a good set.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that was pretty much I came home and I kind of wanted to stay, But at the same time, I kind of wanted to get back just to, keep on hunting and get back to here. And it's been an absolute nightmare of a season for me as far as buck encounters, as far as mature buck encounters go here. My last, you have been talking, and my last 7 bucks I've hunted today and yesterday was the first 2 days I didn't hunt in the previous like 8 or 9 days in a row. I've seen 8 different bucks, and the biggest one's been a 3-pointer. And the rest were all spikes, all different spike horns.
Oh.
So, but the 3-pointer I seen put on a pretty good show on Saturday morning. I mean, he was dogging that doe fawn like you can't even believe.
Oh.
Stiff-legged. He didn't know enough to do it in grunting yet, but he came by a scrape, and then the doe and fawn came by through the Oak Ridge, and then he kind of made a 180, and he just eyeballed her, and the doe just kind of stood and watched like, what are you doing? And he's just stiff-legged. I mean, he was all over, and that fawn's just running and running and running, and then pretty soon the doe was like, all right, I'll follow along. So they just kind of followed off, and that was the last buck I seen. But
Rut activity's picking up here.
yeah, it's been a really slow start.
Super slow. I haven't seen any like panting.
No.
A little bit when I was in Missouri, but otherwise here, the little bit of like rutting that I have seen in the woods has been, a couple of bucks making their way back and forth, checking bedding.
Yep.
Otherwise, the whole doe walks through and 5 minutes, 10 minutes goes by, and then like, okay, yep, buck walk, same trail, but not just walking, not dogging hot on their heels yet. I've been super busy with a lot of outside of hunting,
Yeah.
stuff going on. So I haven't been able to sit as much as I would like, but it seems like everywhere across the board, my cameras in Missouri are picking up pretty good right now.
My cameras here are absolutely dead. My scrapes are dead. So I took my cameras off my scrapes, moved them on trails and food plots, and still
scrapes right now are like peak rut.
They don't hit them. They don't need to.
They don't hit.
No.
They're not hitting any scrapes or.
Nope. They're cruising. The scrape is minor. They'll come back. That'll pick back up once the tail end of the breeding wears off, and they're going to go back to the scrapes a little bit again before she's all over. But so I pulled all my cameras off of my scrapes, except for the big community scrapes.
Yeah.
But at my smaller scrape lines and stuff like that, I moved 3 of them today, and moved them onto food. And I sat one night last week. I had a doe, 2 fawns, and 2 does on the food plot eating, in a turnip food plot, and a 3-pointer and a spike horn came into the plot too. And they all ate.
Yep.
They didn't even go over by them or sniff them or cruised around downwind of them, or there was no mature bucks, or there was zero. They just ate like it was
normal
middle of September.
Yep, preseason.
It was weird.
Yeah,
I'm just like
season.
The doe and fawn came in to the food plot first, and then the 2 does came in together. I'm like, all right, no fawns with either one of them. Something's got to be with them. It's the 5th, 6th, 4th, whatever it was, whatever day last week it was, 5th, something like that. I'm like, it's got to be something.
Yeah.
And nothing. And then like 30 minutes later, a buck comes, but he came from the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So there's zero interest of, it's just been really weird. I haven't had any pictures of any of my really good bucks in probably over a week. So I'm thinking they're locked down already because I have seen 0 pictures of them. So just a really weird rut for me this year.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed that as well to a lot of my cameras here, because I did the same. I'm not running any of my cameras on scrapes anymore. It's all funnels and
bedding funnel. Yeah, that's where I was moving them.
Yeah, in between bedding funnels and stuff like that. And even then, she's She seemed pretty slow for me so far, but everything I've heard is deer have had so much fat on them this year. So I'm wondering if we're gonna have a pretty hard winter
Yeah,
due to that, or
we
know.
gotta have a normal winter one of these days. I mean, the last 2 winters in a row, we've been so lucky up here.
lucky as far as like working in the trades, lucky.
Yeah, and then even like amount of snow for deer, deer up, in the northern area, you can take a lot of that pressure off them deer. They can eat acorns all the last 2 years.
Right.
It was a good crop of acorns, and they were eating acorns till February.
Yep.
So if they can make it to February with no snow, they got her made.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, that was pretty much it. I'm looking forward to this coming week here. Just gonna keep grinding at it. Back at her tomorrow morning.
Why don't you give everyone your bow setup? What you're running this?
So my bow setup this year, I am running the Matthews V3, and I have a HHA roller 2-pin,
Yep.
which I switched to this year, and I absolutely love it.
Those are Nitrix.
Yep, love that sight. I am running Easton Access arrows, and I am running the Grim Reaper Carnivore blades on the end of that, and she put a heck of a hole in it.
Yep.
And so that's pretty much my setup. I'm running. I bought. I'll tell you one thing that this year that I bought. I bought the Sitka binocular rangefinder holder,
Yep.
and the other day I've been wearing it like every day. I'm so like I need bow, arrows, trigger release, and then that.
Bino harness.
My harness. If I don't have my harness on, the other day I was hunting. Actually, I was hunting one of my food plots in the White Pine on the 7 plot, and for whatever reason, I took it out of my pack and I left it by my truck. So I get up in the tree, and that's a spot where I can shoot all the way across my food plot, 65 yards.
Yep.
I've ranged it multiple times, so I kind of know what it is already, but I get up in the tree stand, and I'm like, crap. I'm like, where's my, oh no, I forgot. I left my stinking thing in the truck, and I'm not walking back and getting it. So I've been running that this year. So I got Vortex 10x42s, and I'm running a Nikon rangefinder, and
Did you find yours?
no. So the one I bought from you, I gave the Graysons. Graysons run that one, and then I bought a new one.
Nikon.
I found the case.
Did you?
Yeah.
That doesn't do you much.
Yeah. Grayson's like, hey, I found the case because it was laying in the truck. I'm like, I know, I got the case. I'm looking for the part that's inside of it. He's like, I'll tell you what, you lose more stuff, Dad. I'm like, yeah, I know I do. Seems like that and gloves. It seems like I buy new gloves every year. I don't know why, where they go, but gone, gloveless.
In the
I'm
woods.
I'm not
I don't hunt with gloves.
I'm not a huge glove guy. If I do wear them, I like the Sitka ones with the thumb and the trigger fingers cut off.
Yeah.
So that way you can pull, and I just usually go with the hot hands in my pocket.
Yep.
And
the reason I don't like running gloves is because I don't shoot with gloves.
That's
Almost ever.
Ever.
I don't ever shoot with gloves. So I would feel that if you're going to wear gloves while you're in the stand, you should be shooting your bow with your gloves on to get a feel. Because I've been sitting up in the tree and do a practice draw or whatnot, wear my gloves. I can't get my,
slippery.
I can't get my grip hand set the way I want it to. My thumb button just feels weird in my, in my release hand.
It's not in the same spot.
Nothing feels good.
Yeah.
So I just stick to it. I got one of them
Muffs.
like hand muff pouches. I run it in that, or like I have the Fanatic jacket, and that's got that
Built-in muff.
built-in muff. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
And then throw a hand warmer in that. Keep the release right in there, and we're solid.
Yeah, because I shoot a wrist release, and you put gloves on, and then now your band is tightening it's tightening into a different hole than you're used to shooting.
Yeah.
So then you're kind of pulling on it because it isn't set to the same
Yep.
depth. So when you pull back, it's not here. It's either back here,
Yep.
gives you a longer trigger pull. So now you're going to be
Yep.
moving. And but I'm telling you what, Saturday morning, it was freaking cold. I had 17 Saturday morning when I went and sat.
Saturday was miserable.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I had gloves on Saturday morning because the biggest thing for me is like I got the bow hangers and all that stuff and they're hanging. And usually if I see a deer coming or whatever the case may be, I grab my bow right away.
Yep.
So Saturday morning, I seen that small buck coming and he was back and forth. So I had 3 hot hands. I had 2 in my right because I didn't have a glove on in my right hand. So I put 2 small ones in my right and 1 in the left pocket. And you grab that bow and you're holding onto that cold bow. And it was like 50 minutes before, he was back and forth. I would just go hang it up and all of a sudden he'd come back this way and then back over around the other way. And he was behind me. And so you're hanging onto that cold bow, and then pretty soon I'm like, crap, I got to balance it on my knee, hold on to it with this one, warm this one up for 5 minutes, and then kind of back and forth. So that's why you have to hunt out of an Orion no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. I would love nothing more than to never have to sit in a tree stand again.
Yeah, I know. But something about those cold mornings when you can hear them deer coming. And that was the crazy part. Like I was sitting there and I could hear something coming. So it was dead quiet. The sun was coming up. It was a beautiful morning. And I grabbed my grunt call and I'm like, I'm gonna do a little bit of grunting.
Do you blind call a lot?
I blind call. Only grunt, I don't rattle.
Yeah.
So I stand up, I give it a rip,
Yep.
burp, 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 little tending grunt, wait for about 15, 20 seconds, and then cut the same thing again, face it the other way. I sit down and I readjust. And 2 minutes, I hear crunch, crunch, crunch. I'm like, holy sweet mother, it worked. I grab my bow and I can hear him down in front of me. And I can hear him walking and getting closer. And I'm on an oak flat and it drops into popples and it drops into a swamp on the bottom. That's where they all bed.
Yep.
Here and up in front of me on this way, the wind is right in my face. So I'm set. Anything other than a south wind, I'm golden.
Yep.
There's 4 scrapes right on this ridge top. Boop, boop, boop. So I'm sitting there and I can hear him coming. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a buck. So I get ready and I can hear him coming and coming and coming, and all of a sudden stop for like 2 minutes. And then coming and coming and coming and coming, and then stop for like another 2 minutes. And usually that's what a big buck does. He'll take 10 steps and stop, which seems like forever, and then just look and look and look. So all of a sudden I can hear just leaves getting just raked. I'm like, oh, he's making a scrape. This has got to be a good one. So I'm ready. And I can hear just in the leaves, thrash, thrash, thrash. I'm like, all right, then nothing. So I'm like, all right. So I'm thinking, and it's got it. I can't see it. It's pretty thick. Mm-hmm. And I have one big oak tree in front of me and like 2 of them in this side. So I can shoot here, a little tiny patch here, and then everything on my left is spotty. I can shoot all over. I got 2 big ones right in front of me to block. So if they come right to left, I can let them go in front of them trees. They go up this little hill, and he's right there. So I'm like, crap, should I grunt again? I'm like, no, he's way too close. I can't see him, but there's no way he can't see up to where I'm at. So I'm sitting there, and pretty soon I can hear him coming again. I'm like, oh, he's coming. So I got my bow ready, and then nothing. I'm like, what the frick? And I can hear him pounding on the ground again, and I'm waiting, and I'm trying to peek around this tree to see if I can see him, and I can't see nothing. So like 10 minutes goes by, I don't hear anything. So I'm like, well, he didn't leave. So I couldn't figure out. So after that, pretty soon I could see a flash. I grabbed my binocs, put them up. Freaking 2 tom turkeys.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's dirty, player. That is dirty. I said, if either one of you 2 come over this way, I am going to freaking light you up and fill my fall turkey tag.
Yep.
No such dice.
No.
So they kind of worked their way up the ridge, and that was just like you go from like the ultimate like
it's gonna happen.
I can't wait to see what this thing is. To just like wah wah wah.
Yeah, turkeys are cool.
Yeah, they're not.
Turkeys are cool, man.
No, not in November. I'll give you turkeys maybe cool. If you think they're so cool, there's unlimited turkey tags right now. I just had a picture on my food plot today and yesterday. There must have been 40 turkeys in one picture. Just desecrating my freaking food plot right now. So I am going out there tomorrow and I am going to freaking hammer one. If there's more turkey tags, I'm shooting them all. I got 2 practice arrows in my quiver and I'm going to use one for sure. Cause I looked up today, you have till the 4th of January to fill your fall turkey tag. Yep. So, cause I couldn't remember if it went to the November, but then I looked and then it goes all the way till January. So yep. I will be harvesting my fall turkey tag. I guarantee you that because they are on my food plot daily. I got a couple of them with some big ropes like this hanging down too. Is that good?
Yeah, them are all right. Do you know how you kill a fall turkey? If you were targeting fall turkeys?
Just go to my food plot.
Okay. Little tip of the trade. You got a flock of turkeys in the fall. This only works in the fall. Don't try this in the spring. You get a flock of turkeys. Run in. Flush them all out. Find a good spot close to where you flushed all them turkeys out. And then sit down right there. And I've never had it take more than 20, 30 minutes.
They all come back?
They all come right back to where you flushed them out. And that's it. That's fall turkey hunting in a nutshell.
It's fall turkey hunting 101.
That's all you got to do.
Flush them.
Flush them. Sit down. If you got a shotgun, you got her made. Too easy.
No, I'm not doing
If you're going to do her with a bow,
yeah.
you might have to tuck yourself into something.
Oh, I'm telling you what. The other day, try to get pulled back on one.
Yeah, I've never killed a turkey with a bow or with a gun. It's like,
well, up in the tree is 10 times worse. So they came through my food plot like a week and a half ago. Me and Grayson were both hunting. He was hunting the upper plot and I was hunting the 7 on the bottom. And they cut all the way on the east side of my food plot through the center and working their way right up to Grayson.
yeah.
So I said, dude, there's a hammer Tom. There's one Tom that was with his group of like 18. Yeah. I said, hammer him. He's like, all right. So I can see him go through the edge of my plot, through the center plot, and they're going north right to him. So I'm like just waiting for the whap. And I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And pretty soon I can hear him.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that ain't good. And he texts me back, crap. He's like, I was reaching, or I clipped on and I went to pull back. And then they all scattered.
It's hard.
Oh yeah. So they came back down towards me. So I'm standing in a white pine and I'm fully, well, you've seen my set.
Yep.
I'm fully covered on the back. So my bow's hanging here. I'm facing this way. My plot's here on this side. They're coming through the plot like this. So the hens, the bigger hens and the smaller ones get 20-ish out in front of me and they're turning and they just angle right down the long part. So that stupid Tom was in the back and he's kind of coming across. He's going to angle right through the center of it. So I literally go and I'm 30 feet in the air. So I literally go like this, grab my bow, and I take it off, and I come to here, and then they're all on alert.
Yep.
I'm like, there's no possible way.
Them turkeys see movement.
But their predators are from the tree, hawks or owls, and so they gone. So so now I'm gonna be, when I see them, I'm gonna be way ready, way before that. Yep. I'm gonna just have to buckle down, and maybe tomorrow might be my day.
Yep, big turkey killer.
Yeah, I gotta shoot something in here in Wisconsin.
Yep. Dude, so. You're telling me I got 3 states of tags in my pocket, and it's coming out. It's mid-November.
I did do one thing that before I left, and I told myself I wanted to, if I didn't get a buck, I wanted to shoot a deer before I left, just with that confidence, and I did. Like the week before, I think I left. Yeah, it was exactly. I shot it on Sunday night. Nice big doe came out in the food plot and 22-yard shot and smoke and went like 60 yards and dumped her. So there was some good.
I know.
practice, and it was good. It feels good to be confident when you're going somewhere. Like, even if it was a doe, even if I would have been like mad,
I'd still you're still checking and making sure, all right, well, my gear's good.
yeah,
It's been a whole year. I can still do this.
I didn't kill anything last year with my bow. Oh no, I did. Yeah, last year I did shoot one, but I went to Illinois, didn't shoot nothing. I didn't shoot nothing early season, and I always tell myself, I say the same thing every single year.
Yep.
I'm shooting a doe early season, and then, we'll get a buck pattern or 2 bucks pattern, or like this year we had Grayson's buck pattern on the food plot. Actually, we had 2 of them, and then the neighbor ended up shooting one of them. Well, that's a different story, but don't get me crossbow. I mean, going on that one. And so we had some good ones. So every year the same thing. We say the same thing. Opening weekend, we're going to shoot some does, get ready. But then we usually have a nice buck or 2 come into the plot early. So it's like, man, I don't want to be in there mucking it all up, tracking does all over the place.
Right.
But this year I didn't really care. Actually, I seen an 8-pointer that same night, and I elected to pass him, but he's going to end up getting shot anyway. So
hopefully not.
Well, he's still alive on my accord because I could have killed him twice.
Yep.
So he's still alive. Otherwise, if I would have shot him, he'd have been dead already. So he made it this far.
Yep.
He's still alive because I had pictures of him, but not till midnight. So hopefully he just stays nocturnal until January 10th.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah, I got my fall turkey done.
yeah, that was a good septic tank pumping shot.
Yeah. Well, you come home from work, and they're sitting there.
Yeah, you said, no, it was a video call.
Yeah, they're sitting there. Well, go in the shed, grab the bow, see if you can seal the deal. Gives you a 30-some yard shot. You're just going to, it'd be a shame not to.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. that was the video call I got. What's up? And I'm like, nothing. What's up with you? Cleaning the turkey. I'm like, what? And you just like pan it over, and there's a freaking rope hanging off of this tom like this long. And I'm like, no way. I'm like, holy crap. Got him with the bow. You're like, yeah, that's right. I'm like, that's freaking sweet.
A couple coyotes.
Oh, yeah, that was one morning because you sent me a picture.
Yep.
And you're like, down to 1 arrow. I'm like, down to 1 arrow? You suck that bad? You missed 3 times already?
No.
And then you're like, no.
Coyotes just kept coming.
He's like, I'm down to my last arrow. I'm like, I don't know how to even respond to that.
Well,
because you left the like coyote part out until after I asked to like, what? And then you're like, dead picture, 1 coyote arrow through the forehead, right through the center. I'm like, sweet.
But yeah, it's been pretty. I've passed on a lot of decent deer, probably good deer.
Yeah, the one video you sent me that one night, that was a nice 8. I mean, that was definitely a very respectable buck for here.
I've let a lot of good up and coming 120s, couple maybe 130s, cruise on past. One here, a bunch on the Lisa, Missouri. I had a lot of good up and coming bucks in Missouri that I'm still on the fence if the Missouri lease is something that I want to do long term or not, for a few different reasons. But yeah, around here it's been pretty tough.
Yeah.
Last Saturday when it was real cold, I ended up going and sitting on a buddy's property, and man, I probably had three opportunities that this didn't hash out on some, pretty hammers for our area, and it just didn't click. Otherwise, it's been pretty tough.
It's been a grind
this year.
I'm already looking forward to late season. I don't know why. Hopefully I get it done. I got 2 weeks yet for the bow. I'm going to hunt pretty hard. Rifle season comes. I'm going to hunt hard with the rifle. I got a couple spots that we hunt out by camp. So we got some pretty decent ones on camera out there. Pretty excited for my son and my dad. I'm hoping he gets one. He's been hunting hard with the bow. He finally just seen his first buck
Really?
like a little 7-pointer or something. Passed it up the other day, but he's been hunting pretty hard too. He's done probably 3 or 4 all day sits and blanked every time.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah,
Sit all day and
nothing.
see nothing.
Yeah, and but it's a grind. But a couple of our buddies have had some pretty good success.
Yeah, they've been friends with some killers.
Yeah, Bo Anderson, number 1 from Orion, killed the freaking absolute hammer
in Stevenson.
in Stevenson, and not a Stevenson hammer, a hammer.
Yeah.
Beautiful 10-pointer. And Casey Lee Joyce was on episode number 3. He is done in Kansas. He killed a beautiful 9-pointer. I think the 3rd day he was there, he killed a really nice buck. I messaged him like, "Hey, you got a Midwest Archer hat?" He's like, "Yeah, I got a hat." I'm like, "Slap that sucker on and take a picture with it." He's like, "I can't." I'm like, "What do you mean you can't?" And he says, "It's already all cleaned up. It's in the freezer." I'm like, "Oh, that kind of can't." Sounds good. But, and then another one of guys that is diehard listener to the podcast, his dad is my neighbor over there, Ryan Weslowski. He shot an absolute dandy 10-pointer, and he was after that buck hard this year. And he did, Sunday night he shot it. And it was a freaking giant. And we'll post, I got the pictures, so we can post his picture up there. I talked to him today, so shout out to him. Congratulations on that, because that buck, he had tons of pictures of that buck and just over here, over there. And I think he was on his 3rd or 4th all day sit Sunday, and he sealed the deal Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, and absolute 12-ring shot too. Went like 30 yards.
Oh, that's the dream.
Yeah, just deflated it. It was textbook shot. Big saddle hunter too. So yeah, big congrats to him too. I mean, it's pretty sweet. Some nice bucks are falling. Some of our buddies are dialing in. Now it's our turn. Well, I got one on the board, so that's pretty good. Yeah, your turn.
My turn. My dad got, when you were talking earlier about getting going and setting a setup, and it just kind of works out for someone. So I'd gone in, my dad and I went to Missouri, and I also went with my father-in-law and my wife. They were there for a shorter amount of time. And I try to take, it's one of those things where like, all right, I just want everyone to get into a spot, and like I can look at what's going on, I can look at a map, and I can probably figure something out, So get my wife set up. Well, not give my wife some points and whatnot, and say, hey, this is kind of what I'm thinking, yada, yada, yada. And then, all right, setting my dad up. We tried repping a decoy early on, and this was leading into Halloween, and they just really weren't interested into it. So pulled the decoy out. I did a lot of stand hopping. I did a lot of hanging cameras, and I got on deer pretty regularly. Nothing worth, really letting one fly, but whatever. Found deer, and I felt good about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then my father-in-law and my wife leave. They go back. My dad, we're doing a couple more days. And I'm like, I've ran a camera in this area before. I've had good buck activity. I'm looking at the topo map. Like, I've hunted this area, but I haven't really dialed it in yet. But as I'm looking, I'm studying this lease nonstop on Onyx. Like, this is the spot for a stand. We just need to go and find one and figure something out. And we're going and we're looking around and we're like, all these trees kind of friggin' suck, but.
Isn't that like the worst thing down there? Like when you go down there, you're like, this is the area I want to be in. And you look around and there ain't a freaking tree to put a stand in within 100 yards of it.
Nah, yeah, I know. So we ended up being a little closer than what is kind of ideal. Like 10 yards from this little scrape line and this big funnel going in that like down this draw, there's a saddle here, and then a couple more like ravines kind of run into it, and it's a big drain, like 10-foot wall drainage, just like you're talking about.
Yep.
And they run that like crazy. And I ended up finding this maple tree, but it like forks out like all over the place. So you got a massive base. So you get one stick on the base, one stick on this,
One piece.
one piece. Then you hop onto this one, and then you hop onto this one, and then you get above the stand, and then you look up and you're like, man, I'm like 10 feet off the ground. Which isn't a problem.
Yeah, right.
It's just kind of how it worked out and everything. But I think my dad sat there that night and had good activity. Maybe he sat there that evening. I don't remember exactly how it all worked out. It got to a point after a few days, I had showed my dad everything on Onyx and showed him around, and it was kind of like,
you go do your thing.
I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
Right.
I'm gonna show you trail camera pictures when they come in. And if you want my input, I'm gonna give you my input. Like these are the stands I would be at though.
Yep.
And you do you. And I'm here if you have any questions, type
Right.
of deal. My dad has always been a hunter, but not as far as
Technical, like,
trying to do it
yeah,
in depth as much. So,
same.
but we ended up getting to, we were going to hunt. So it was Monday night. Monday night he killed. And so, because Tuesday, I was going to sit Tuesday and then
Come home Tuesday night.
come home Tuesday afternoon.
Yep.
And so he left it all up to fate. He must have narrowed it down between two stands that he really wanted to go to, and he flipped a coin. All right. Well, all right. So he's going here at the stand that we just set up. And then I love my dad. He flips another coin. And
You flipping 2 coins?
he flipped 2 coins, okay? And I'll get into this. I go off and I scout. I'm in some good areas. Maybe I should have stayed. Whatever. I didn't. But I like moving. I believe in burning areas out.
Yep.
Sit here, see what I'm seeing, not seeing what I'm liking. I don't
Move.
want to burn it out.
Yep.
Let's hop over here.
Yep.
I go and I scout. I got all my saddle stuff. And I get to an area. It's like, man, I don't have my knee pads, which you gotta have.
Yep.
If you don't have knee pads, miserable saddle sit. So I'm like, And I think I left at like 10:30, 11 o'clock to go and start scouting another area. Like, I'm just gonna go grab my knee pads, and it should be in the side by side. My dad should have parked here. If they're not there, I'm just gonna go to a different stand. Whatever. And you go back, and I see this freaking crossbow case on the back. Flipped a coin.
Oh.
And he was using crossbow. Okay, good. I'm not going to rag on him at all. A little bit. But anyway, that stand is set up.
So
to
he
where
flipped the coin for the stand, and then he flipped the coin for either bow or crossbow.
Bow or crossbow.
Okay, I'm on. Okay.
He left it all up to fate.
Yeah. Yep.
It's all the chance.
Got to do what the quarter says.
And it worked out for him. Kind of. But he ended up where that stand he's at, the scrape, 20 some feet away.
Oh, tight. I mean, it's tight.
We're tight. And so now this is where I think the crossbow hurt him, is because the things are pushing so fast that I don't think it allows that broadhead to do what it needs to do on the inside. I think it's just zipping right through it.
Yep.
And that's it.
By the time the
By the time the blades are,
Starting to open, it's already coming out.
and this is just a theory. Someone can rip me in the comments and tell me I'm wrong and dumb, but this is what I'm thinking because he tells me exactly where he saw the arrow go in, everything like that. I go through, I look at the arrow, I'm like, there's nothing on this arrow, like at all. And then there's some like mucusy shit on a leaf. And this is nighttime now. And I think we ate dinner. And I said, if it's dead, it's dead.
Yeah, right.
Whatever. I know it sucks to do, but
When in doubt,
no matter
wait.
what, let's wait 3-4 hours. And he had said about how he shot it, and it like bucked up, walked 30 yards, and stood there. Like, well, that's odd. It's very odd.
It probably zipped through it so fast I probably didn't even know what even happened.
And then he's like, I wasn't even thinking about it, but I had like plenty enough time to shoot it again and just didn't. And, then we get on super good blood. But we go through and I got the spotlight and I'm shining and I see eyes like 120 yards away. I'm like, I don't like that. And my dad convinces me, he's like, let's just go a little bit more. And then we go up, and I'm more focused on these eyes the whole time. We brought the crossbow with. It's our best means of getting it.
Yep.
At this point. Yeah, at night. I don't know if you're allowed to do this or not. I don't know.
You can finish him off.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to say any. If it's wounded and sitting there, by all means,
I would agree, but I don't know what the law is. Whatever. So
we're going to do what's right for the animal and what's the humane thing. If it's not exactly
if we
by
were
the
walking up on it and it was still alive, we're going to dust it again.
Yeah,
no matter
100%.
what time of day it is. So
Yeah.
if there's a law against that, that's a stupid law. And I did it. So whatever. We ended up not shooting it though, but we get up and we get to where it's at, and I see it, and it's in the thick, nasty,
so that was the set
drain.
of eyes you seen.
Yeah, it's a drainage though. So this is where all the thorns and
Yeah.
it's thick. We go in, it's probably 60 yards away behind a tree, looking right at us.
Standing or laying?
Standing up. I can see the rack, and I'm like, all right. And it just, you can tell it's hurting.
Yeah.
This is 3 hours later though, which is odd. And it just kind of like, you can tell it's crippled up because it goes and it just slowly turns, and it
Like it was struggling to do anything.
Struggling to do anything. And all right, we're just going to go back in the morning, and it's going to be dead
Right there.
right there. Well, so where we left off, we had super good blood for 50 yards. And then it went to this drainage, and then kind of was like, I'm not doing that. And then must have turned around and circled. And we saw it on the edge of that drainage ditch. And we went and we looked, one drop of blood where it was standing, circled everywhere. And then ended up, I was like, well, I think you're in no man's land, I guess.
Right.
Yep. High.
Above the lungs, below the backbone, right through the right through the back straps, basically.
And these bucks are coming in the rut, and like the last thing on their mind is to die.
Yeah. The testosterone level is so high, they just seem to go forever.
And it ended up coming out to, we looked as much as we could, but with no blood from here, when we know it faced this way. So sadly, we ended up not recovering it. Ed goes down. Ed and my sister-in-law go down to the lease. Ed's up in a stand, maybe 100 yards away from where we left off. He's like, man, there are freaking coyotes everywhere. So he's going to, I think he wung an arrow at a coyote. And he goes, man, this freaking coyote's dragging on something. So he goes, there's my dad's buck.
No shit.
Tore up.
That sucks.
So we were 100 yards, but even if we would have gone in that direction, because it like tees into, I call it like a creek bottom, but it's 15-foot high sidewalls, 20 feet wide.
Jeez.
So
Yeah, it's,
I would have walked up, we would have gotten to that point, and I'd been like, yeah, he didn't do that.
right.
You know, apparently it did. You know,
Yeah.
it must have scaled up that, went up the ridge a little bit, laid down and died.
Yeah.
But super, you know, I've had this buck on camera for quite a while throughout the year, and third beam, you know, the left side's kind of all janked up with third beam, and then the right side's nice 5, super tall.
Yeah, I remember that buck. You showed it to me. Yeah, it's pretty neat looking.
It's definitely a neat buck. So it was cool to. It's cool. This is why I'm on the fence about keeping the lease or not, because I can go do the solo public land guy thing and be on deer. Well, I can't. It's not that I can't, but I don't have the amenities or
There's more to it than just that, you know.
But I get to do this with my family. I get to bring my dad here every year.
Yep.
You know, this is the guy that got me into hunting. It's kind of a
Payback a little bit.
payback.
Yep.
I get to bring my wife. She's yet to kill anything with the bow, but it's in her cards. She puts a lot of time and work into. Yeah, this is where I'm just like, conflicted.
And it seems like you have good deer there too. So it'd be a tough to walk away from it, you know, just because it's
And the price is right.
yeah, the price is right. You go down there with your family, and if you get one, it's a bonus.
Yeah, it's not always the killing of. It's not always killing anything.
Yeah.
We've talked about this quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I put a ton of. I don't know what it is. I've texted a couple of people this throughout the year. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders to get it done with the bow, and I don't know why I don't know if it's the so much time that's put in, and it's like, man, something should have worked out by now, and the doubt or what it all boils down to. I don't know why I feel like this. I feel like this every year.
I think a lot of it too is we put so much effort into it, and you want to have that reward at the end.
Yeah.
And sometimes even though you don't get what you want at the end, you feel like you failed. Even though it's not about
Well, right. I'm
you know,
sure my
'cause-
standards going up.
well, yeah, and
Every
look
year
how
doesn't
many
help.
look how many bucks you could have killed already this year that you let walk.
Right.
You could have killed a handful of bucks already. And so, in my eyes, your season's already been a success because you could have killed a nice buck already.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
So you let that buck walk. You could have smoked it. You could have the one you sent me a video of when we were hunting. You sent me a video of one nice 8-pointer, another nice 8-pointer, another one walking over here. So you could have killed a handful of respectable, nice bucks already, and you didn't. So that's already a successful season in my eyes because you put yourself in the right spot. You could have killed it. You passed on it, hoping he's going to make it till the next year, be that 140 incher, 145. So your season's already a success, but it's hard. It's hard to measure success without having results at the end of the day.
Yep. And I don't know if we've talked about it on the pod or whatnot, but I know we've talked about it. I'm fine with coming home with tags in my pockets.
Oh, you have to be.
I'm
You know what I
fine.
mean? You have
Yeah.
to be.
You know, 3, sometimes 4 states. Yeah, there are plenty of times when there's a lot of unfilled tags that I feel like, me personally, I'm happier with that. Even though I feel the pressure's on, but I almost have more respect for hunters sometimes that, I don't know how to say this without sounding bad, but at the same time, like, hey, you didn't just whack something just so that you could whack something.
Yep.
I feel that's almost maturing more as a hunter to go into it with a mindset that I'm coming home with nothing, or
A hammer.
and it doesn't have to be a hammer for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
a hammer for
Yeah.
you,
Yep.
and it's not like, well, the spike horn better watch out. It's last day, and we're letting her eat type of deal.
I think that's a good point for like Wisconsin in general too, because like some of the people that hunt around, here, our buck to doe ratio is so far out of whack.
Yeah.
So they would rather say, I shot an 8-pointer.
Yep.
Didn't tell you it was an 8-pointer this big and a 2.5-year-old with brow tines like that that got passed by 15 of your neighbors already, hoping that it goes another year to 2. But you shot an 8-pointer. So you can hang your hat on, did you get anything this year? Yeah, I shot an 8-pointer. Well, that sounds, in their mind, sounds better than, yes, I shot 2 does. I didn't shoot the buck I wanted to shoot, but I helped the deer herd. I harvested 2 does.
Yeah.
I'm working on getting our ratio back. I let the younger bucks go. I didn't see the mature buck I wanted to, and especially for guys that do it, previous years versus just shooting a 5-pointer or 7-pointer. But at the end of the day, if that gets you going, then who is it for anybody else to say,
that,
that's the catch on the other side of, young kid, older guy, or any guy. If you go out, I mean, no matter what we do here in the state of Wisconsin, without the help from the DNR or something, putting something else on it, it's never going to be Iowa. Where we hunt, it's never going to be.
No.
I don't care how hard you try to manage your piece of property, what you put on it, whatever the case may be, it's never going to be Iowa.
Yep.
It's never going to be Illinois. It's not. So you have to have expectations of where you're hunting for what you're after.
Yeah, most definitely.
So, I mean, and at the end of the day, if a guy goes to camp and shoots a 3-pointer and is excited with it, I'm excited.
Yeah. If it gets your rocks off, we've said this before.
We've touched base on that.
If that's you're ecstatic about it, then I'm ecstatic.
Absolutely.
But don't be coming back to camp and being like, well, I just won one at this dink because I wasn't going home with nothing.
Yeah.
That's why you go to a lot of the processors around the area.
Yeah.
And you walk in, and the very few does that are hanging there, well, they're bigger than
Oh yeah, for sure.
80% of the bucks that are hanging next to them.
Yep.
So doing it for the meat, I kind of look at, well, there's a lot of big mature does that are a ton of them. Our ratio is in our area, northeastern Wisconsin. I can't speak for out, the western
we're talking
portion
our
of Wisconsin. I see good buck to doe ratio. I've hunted some in southern Wisconsin, good ratios in that area. The more typical big buck country. But yeah, I know our area, northeastern Wisconsin, way out of whack.
And you hear a lot of the people that say, well, you can't eat the horns. Well, if we're not worried about not eating the horns, then shoot one without horns.
Okay, I like that.
I got quite a few years on you. So in camp back when my grandpa was hunting and all them guys, and you shot the first spike horn and you were excited about it, this and that, which was awesome. Great time. But, you'd always hear you can't eat the horns anyway, so why worry about it? I love that point.
Yep.
If you're not worried about the horns and you can't eat them, and if it's not something like that, then shoot a doe.
It'll probably be bigger body.
And it'll help the deer in general.
Yep.
It'll harvest 2 does versus that 1 buck that you're going to throw the horns in the garbage anyway. So what's the difference? So why kill it just for the means of killing a 3-inch spike horn when you don't care about the horns anyway? Shoot a doe. and then you'll help the rest of the deer herd, take some of that pressure off the food for the winter time, and your deer herd will be healthier.
Yep.
But so
I agree. But
all in all,
You
we're
can't-
going to just keep grinding because I'm going to
keep
be back at
grinding.
it tomorrow. So I think that's a good spot to
I agree.
go.
An hour 50.
That's not bad.
We might be hitting one of our longer ones.
Yeah. Seemed like we weren't going to go that long, but all of a sudden, yeah, it is 150.
But yeah,
So
we can't hunt for everyone else. Worry about ourselves. We're going to keep grinding. Mike is his own boss, so he quit his job.
yeah, I did until every 5 seconds my phone buzzes in the deer stand. But yes, I am definitely taking some well-deserved time away from stress, and it's been good. So good luck to everybody else that's out there still grinding. Be safe out there. Strap yourself into that deer stand. If you're climbing up in a lock on or a ladder stand, please climb in and strap in.
Make sure to follow us on all of our socials.
If you're looking for some merch, we got some cool hats and shirts. Hook us up, DM us. We'll get an
figure it
order
out.
sent out to you. Just give us your address and payment, and we can ship her out to you.
Thanks again to our sponsors. And then we'll be at ATA this year
Yes, we will.
at the Orion booth. I
Yes, we will.
don't have a booth number yet. We'll get that figured out. I'm
Yeah.
hopefully going to become an ATA certified tech there.
That's sweet. You're going to go to school and be an ATA tech, and I'm going to sit and sell Orion deer stands like they're water.
That's right. So come find us there. Let's hop on a pod together.
All right.
And
Good luck.
Good luck.
See ya.
Not a bad one.
That was a good one.